Are you a fan of horror movies?
Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead.
What about cult classics?
Your move, creep.
If you are, you'll love Shocking Things. Please search for us on all the major podcasting platforms. To see our social media and a direct link to our podcast, please go to anchor.fm/shockingthings.
Tracy Smothers, Harley Race, Tim Storm, Bushwhacker Luke, Bobby Fulton. The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 1, Bill Dundee, Supermex Hernandez, C.W. Anderson, Ricky Morton, Sir Mo, and many others share their stories of determination, triumph, and sorrow. Get your book today at Russellville.com or at Amazon.com. Russellville, it's wrestling biz.
And welcome. We are here tonight on this wonderful Wednesday evening for the PWZ podcast. I'm the Professor Rick Del Santo, and joining me today, very excited to have him back. It's been quite some time. Talkin Tommy Sabin. What's going on? Oh, we're having some connection issues. I can't hear you. Nope. We're having some connection issues. Just bear with us a second.
Can you hear me now? I lost the headphones.
Yep, I can definitely hear you now.
All right, here we go. Must have been something with the headset.
Yep.
I'll have to work on that.
Right.
I might have had my volume down the headset. But all right.
Oh, and checking in. Look who we have here.
Is this what I think it is?
Can you boys hear me?
This is Mr. Matt DaCorte.
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
I'm going audio only because I'm actually in transit now back to my crib. I was just hanging out with a friend. We're catching up over some AEW Dynamite tonight.
Very nice. Very nice.
I had to get my my dogs out, so I did not catch the rest of the main event. Was it good? I mean, you could tell me who it was. Did Darby advance or did Hardy advance?
Jeffrey Hardy took it. It was a lot of crazy bollocks, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Like lots of just ridiculous spots. I was one of those things where it's like, how as a human being can you put yourself through this knowingly? Like that's some crazy stuff. And I would say it was fun to watch, but I mean, at the same time, not really. So
right.
It was definitely a dream match for sure because, Hardy being the well-known daredevil of the last 10 to 20 years. And now, with his time slowly coming to an end in pro wrestling, as him and Matt have talked about, this is their last run together. Darby is now kind of shown to be that new era of that new type of daredevil. He's the second coming of Jeff Hardy, but again, he's not Jeff Hardy, he's Darby Allin. And I love that, he's going in his own path, in his way of being, being that violent wrestler and high risk.
Right. So how you guys doing?
I feel great. I'm feeling wonderful, actually, because today I just wrapped up finals and my first year of college is complete. Put it in the books.
Attaboy.
So
that's awesome.
So I feel wonderful. I'm repping the Albertus gear actually today, because I did get some great news over the last couple of weeks. As I've also been taking my voice to the broadcast booth, I mean the voice of Albertus baseball. But come next year, I will be the voice of Albertus athletics, as they are dying to have me on just about every sport, and so I'm looking forward to showcasing the good-looking Lady Love and Talkin Tommy, throughout all
as
of
you
Albertus
should,
athletics.
my friend. As you should.
So looking forward
awesome.
already to sophomore year.
That's amazing. So we got to witness some really good professional wrestling last Friday, and we're going to be witnessing some this coming weekend. You guys are taking part in both nights, correct?
Well, actually, about that, Tommy, if you don't mind, I'm going to take the reins here. So
Go right ahead, Manny.
This is actually going to be some breaking news to some, but long story short, a guy that once handed the microphone to me told me one time, sometimes you just get busy, and sometimes scheduling conflicts happen. And in this particular instance, I will be there rocking the microphone on Friday night, but on Saturday night, I will hand that microphone off to my good friend, who is right here with us tonight, and it's just one of those things that it just so happens, and that it works out that there's a guy in the wings, Tommy, give it to me one more time. Who you are?
The good old friend, the good-looking lady loving, Talkin Tommy Sabin, baby.
That's
There
it.
you go.
So I will gladly hand off the mic to him on Saturday night. He will rock it. I'll know he's gonna kill it, and that's what's great about when you have a guy like Talkin Tommy, that can step in when something like this happens. And and granted, it's not like I don't want to be there, but I definitely would love to be there with my family at PAPW, but unfortunately, just sometimes schedules just don't allow for things to happen. And I pride myself on being the voice of PAPW in ring, but like I said, it's just I can't clone myself yet. I would love to, but I can't. But that's again, it's a blessing that we have someone like Talkin Tommy here, and I'm very excited to see your work, my friend.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, and something, that's honestly, it's the right thing, Matt, because actually something that I learned when obviously I started off in PAPW, and then once I started getting contacted with this past Friday we had Coliseum Pro Wrestling. When they first contacted me, I went to the boss, I went to Mario Mancini, I went to Paul Roman, I said, new promotion just reached out to me. I said, I this is my home base. I want your guys' approval that I get the green light to go and showcase my voice, not just in PAPW but in other promotions as well. And they were super excited about it. They said absolutely, and they said, the wrestling business is a tough business. So what's very important is that you always accept your first booking, and so Maddie, Saturday the 14th, he accepted a booking elsewhere. This was prior to PAPW announcing the double shot weekend. So, this is, they come to that respect of the business. It's the right thing to do. This was your first booking, and guys at PAPW, they took this booking first, And again, like I said, you got your old pal here to back you up whenever you need it. So in the end, it works out. And I'm very excited to make my ring announcing debut. I had some experience late last year, October. I worked a birthday party at PAPW that we held. And I know, Matt, you were unavailable that day, so I stepped in and did the ring announcing for the 4 matches we held. And it was a lot of fun, but obviously this is a different level. That was a birthday party. This is where it's an actual show that I'm really working here. And so I definitely have the butterflies, but I'm also excited. So, that's usually a good thing. So I can't wait for Saturday.
I think you can pull it off. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm glad to see you getting something. You're getting in a different position there. That's awesome. Jonathan Sardi and the Guardian of Chaos are both in the chat. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. So, Matt, where are you going to be working on Saturday? Don Kincaid is in the chat. Oh my God!
We got all the good.
We got all the boys
out here.
Everybody's tuned in tonight.
Heck yes! But on Saturday, I apologize, Rick.
No, go ahead, Maddie. Go ahead.
As you were saying, to answer your question, Saturday, the 14th, I will be in Springfield, Massachusetts for New Age Wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, no, New Age I've been working with them kind of consistently since the end of last year. especially the beginning of this year. I think I've done every show they've put on this year, but they've got a really good product up there. They've got there's going to be people like Hamlet Sue, who, if you haven't seen this guy, he's a sight to see. Let me tell you, he'll get people in a hold and start reciting Shakespeare. It's quite the sight to see. So you got guys like him. You got guys like Sebastian Cage, Kamikaze, Jared Diaz. Some guys that are familiar and some guys that you might not know about around here. So it's a nice mix of talent. The matches are always a lot of fun, and Shockwave, the wrestling robot, is going to be on that card as well. So very interested to see that, and it's definitely going to be a fun night.
Very cool. Very cool. So you guys want to talk a little bit about Coliseum now that I got you both here on the show?
Absolutely. I'm down.
I thought this was...
We're here to talk wrestling.
Yeah, we are here to talk wrestling. I mean, you guys got to get out there and, plug yourself too. So that's...
I thought we were here to talk action figures.
This is not... I've seen your action figure collection. So
it's pretty impressive, is it not?
It definitely is. GOC, I have not tuned into Dynamite yet tonight. I will be watching it probably tomorrow. I usually watch it Thursday mornings. It's like I came home in the middle of it. So, and me and Marcel will be covering it tomorrow night, probably about the same time. So Coliseum Pro. This was their debut show in West Haven at the Elks Lodge on Main Street. I used to go to wrestling in this venue in the earlier 2000s. It was a lot of fun. And this show here, I'd have to say, was really, really, really great debut. It was a tournament for the first ever Coliseum Pro Championship. And I don't know, man, I couldn't be more impressed by a debut show.
Yeah, it was a great show, and obviously a well-deserving man that came out on top, the Cure Lucas Chase, who... now, obviously, Matty probably had his eyes, on it tonight. But Professor, when you tune into Dynamite tomorrow night, keep your eyes peeled. There might be, during a certain contract signing between one MJF and Mr. Mayhem Wardlow, there might be one of those security guards might be a familiar foe. Not sure if you might recognize him. But
I always look and make sure to see if I know any of the guys that are in the back.
No, there was actually a couple of people, other people other than Lucas that I've worked with that were part of that. So
I saw, I believe, now one that I also caught other than Lucas, I did see what's his name? Oh God, why was I drawing a blank? Bryce Donovan of the Shook Crew.
Oh, okay.
I didn't catch him.
There.
That's a good one.
He was there as one of the security crew. Obviously, one of the 15 security guards that got manhandled by
another guy that's been through PAPW. Joey Sweet Cheek Silver was there.
Oh, okay.
And if you're a fan of Test of Strength, Encore Moore was also there.
Cool.
Speaking of some of our buddies that we have worked with. Anyone see Monday Night Raw and see that segment with Bobby Lashley?
I did. I did not watch Monday Night Raw, but I saw the clip online, and I saw, was it Jordan Rowe get thrown like 80 feet?
He got absolutely. And if he's watching, I look forward to seeing him on Friday as he's challenging Dustin Waller for the Alley Fights title. That's going to be a great showdown. But
that's going to be a tremendous match.
Man, talk about a mammoth. A spine buster on the floor.
Yep.
And also in one of those security guards. I couldn't tell because he wasn't in his gear. He didn't have like his hair wet. Was that Channing Thomas as well?
Yes, he was on it. He was
that looked like one Channing Thomas.
Yep. He was there. I did read that he was there. Don Kincaid said Jordan got his spine realigned. So, that was pretty fun. That was a lot of fun. I love seeing local guys make it to TV. It's always fun to see, these guys getting out there.
Absolutely. I mean, Waves and Curls, guys that we have gotten to know very well. I know they were at WrestleMania Backlash. They were actually backstage, and I know that they were. I'm pretty sure they were at Monday Night Raw too in Hartford.
Yep.
So I'm super happy for them and see the success that they've gone as now as Northeast Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Oh, we got is that the Flyest?
Fly Nine, the Flyest in the room is here. Yep.
Yeah, the grapple god got grappled by the Almighty.
He got destroyed. Let's be serious. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, though. All right, so let's get into
going back to Coliseum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a little off track there, but yes.
That's all right. That's what this show's about. Is getting. That's what this show's about. Getting off track and then spending hours here.
Yeah.
But
it's all
Lucas
good fun.
Chase.
It's all good fun, guys.
Yeah, congrats to Lucas Chase.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. He's been putting in the work. He's working his ass off all over the place, and he's finally gotten some gold here in the northeastern United States. And I gotta tell you, the match he had with Sebastian Cage, it was a damn good match. I tell you that.
I think honestly, all of the matches he put on. I mean, I really was. I don't know what's the right term. I don't want to say starstruck, but I was just so amazed by his promo after his championship victory.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, after he verbally destroyed me. He said, "I am the best wrestler." He goes, "Not spot monkey wrestler," and he was so spot on because he is a professional wrestler.
Right.
And it's been such a pleasure working with him, as well as a lot of those other guys. I had never got the chance to work with Sebastian Cage until Friday, and he was fantastic to work with. Of course, I've had experience already with Miracle Generation, and like I said, Fly Nye was here working with Fly Nye and Zachariah Gibbs, the Battle Academy. It was
another great match. Yeah.
So it was awesome to see all those guys, do what they do best. And of course, I've had experience of watching The Mission, Dan the Man, Brother Greatness, but this was actually the first time I got a chance to work with them, as well as Sebastian Cage, who I have followed for a number of years, and now I'm so excited to be working with them for the first time. And they were great to work with, very entertaining all throughout the night. And like I said, eight very talented men put on a great show. Unfortunately, one man will come out on top.
I gotta say now,
when we say "May the best man win," Lucas Chase proved why he is. He certainly is the best.
Yeah, I gotta say, not one match was disappointing at all. I think that all the matches throughout the entire evening, the entire tournament, were just.
Yes.
I wasn't really sure who was going to come out the victor at the end of the night, but as it got closer, I did choose Chase. So as it got closer to the end of the night,
as I said in my interview with him, he's no stranger to being inaugural champions. His experience with Dustin
Rhodes Academy,
RWA, he's their inaugural champion. So he's been in a tournament like that before. So he's had the card stacked against him, but he just goes to show he overcomes everything.
Mr. Kevin Sabin is in the chat. What's up, Kevin? Thank you for tuning in.
The enforcer.
He's laying into Talkin Tommy. I bet.
Oh, you want me to put it up on the screen? I don't know if you want me to, but here you go. You can read that.
I see it.
Anyways, what did I just hit here? All right, so we got a double shot this weekend as we. What's that?
I said you breaking the stream there, Rick?
No, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. That's what I'm doing. I have a problem doing that. So anyways, we got a double shot weekend this coming weekend for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. This is going to be a lot of fun. as we found out at the top of the show, Matt DaCorte's not going to be part of night number 2. It's unfortunate. Because when I think of Paradise Alley, I think of Matt DaCorte making that those announcements. But I'm glad to see somebody like Talkin Tommy getting in there and doing that. You do great at interviews, you do great at the commentary. So now you're getting the chance to get up and do these announcements. So that's I think it's going to be awesome and good for you. Yeah. So we got a huge match. I mean, you realize the first night 1, we've got 3 title matches in one night.
Yeah.
I tell you, no, it's got a big fight feel to it. I mean, the Jordan Rowe and Flash has been something that's brewing for a while, and
Yep.
Finally, we get the match.
Yes.
And one of the things I think that made the Coliseum tournament so successful was, it's something I always say: styles make fights, and this is a classic example of that. You have Jordan Rowe, who's quick and agile. He can fly if he wants to, but he's such a good grappler, he doesn't need to.
Right.
So it's again, it's like, can he ground Flash? Can you keep him on the mat? Can you out grapple him and keep him away from doing what Flash is so good at, which is flying around all over the place like crazy? So, and when the pace picks up, folks, you better freaking get your cameras ready and have the slow-mo, because you blink and you'll miss it. So it's on paper, this has match of the night written all over it, in my opinion. So
you might have something there. I mean, Jordan Rowe is a phenomenal grappler, but like you said, he can fly when he needs to. And this is a stacked show, man. I can't tell you that this is probably the match that I'm looking forward to the most. It's just going to be a great match.
There's a lot of matches I'm honestly looking forward to. I mean, we're getting some debuts, we're getting some returns. I understand we got Gino. Gino is returning. I'm very excited to see him back.
I think that's night number 2. I believe that's night number 2. I think I have the whole list of matches here. But we are getting a rematch for the tag team titles. The Hispanic Mechanics are taking on the Haven. They're getting their chance.
And hopefully it'll be a fair fight this time.
I hope so.
After 2-on-2.
After what they did last time, the Hispanic Mechanics, and they took it out. Excuse me, can't talk tonight. They took out Jay Onyx, and now they're getting a rematch, and we'll have to see where this one goes. If those guys can hold on to the tag titles, once it's a fair fight.
Yeah, going to be a good match, and we also have, obviously, we already talked about Flash Waller going up against Jordan Rowe, and then also we were going to see Kylon King defend the Intercontinental title.
This one has sleeper all over it, because let me tell you, because I don't know if Paradise Alley fans know much about Patrick Saint, but
I don't know this guy at all.
Through my work at TOS, let me tell you what, this guy is a freaking monster. He's built like a tank, and he hits just as hard. And yeah, he runs with Dan DeMann. He's a part of the mission.
Got you.
So it is what it is on that front. But in terms of Kylon King is great because he's deceptively strong. But he's also one of those guys like Jordan Rowe where, he can grapple. He's quick. He can fly if and when he wants to. He's got one of the best suicide dives in the business, not just on the independent circuit, in the business in general. Mm-hmm. So, again, but it's like, can he topple that brick wall that is Patrick Saint? I'm very much looking forward to this one.
All right. Anytime Kylon gets in the ring, he's honestly one of my favorites today. And I think I don't know if you guys saw, I put up a clip of this kid the other day. This gentleman, I should say. He's got one of the best drop kicks in the business today. Personal opinion.
100%.
When you learn from the master of the drop kick and Pretty Paul Roma, that says a lot.
I agree. Roma's drop kick. I seen that guy almost take somebody's head off back in the 1991 with his drop kick. So he had a beautiful drop kick.
I'll never forget. And I remember once he showed me the clip of it. He drop kicked Big John Studd, who Big John Studd was like, I want to say what was around 6'8", 6'9",
Something like that, yeah.
just under 7 feet, and he drop kicked him square in the jaw, and that was, I mean, the height that Roma got on that drop kick, one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in pro wrestling.
That's amazing.
So to see him, teach his incredible drop kick to his students, just goes to show where Kylon King gets it from.
Right. We got also got Bloodsaw taking on Jay Veer. This I am unfamiliar with Mr. Veer. This should be this is something to look forward to. I'm not really in
a couple debuts, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him.
Is actually just coming back from injury. I think this actually might be one of his first few matches back. I've actually done commentary with him at Go Figure NAW.
Okay.
Which is where I'll be on Saturday. And, I actually, because I remember seeing him at PAPW a few times, in the pre-pandemic era, even a few years before that when I was first getting my start. And I'm very excited to see what he can do, because, he can definitely, he's like a Lucas Chase, when you put a microphone in his hands, people better watch out, because he's gonna throw those verbal jabs. But I'm really excited, especially coming back from injury, to see what he can do in the ring. And what better way to test yourself than to get in there with one of the most battle tested veterans there is, and a guy like Bloodsaw.
Yeah,
longest reigning PAPW US champ.
that is true. Let's go to night number two. Night number two, as Tommy mentioned before, Perfectly Sexy is returning. It's been quite a while since these guys have been in here, probably since that show that they ran 3 days in a row, maybe, right? During the pandemic, or three shows in 1 day. Excuse me, pardon my messed up. If you guys remember that was a heck of a day. I stayed for all three. It was quite enjoyable. I'm not sure who's popping the popcorn. I have a feeling that's coming from DaCorte's phone. Maybe.
It could be. I'm almost home, so you might get to see my not so pretty face in a minute. So we'll see. I'll surprise you.
They'll be Perfectly Sexy will be taking on Seek and Destroy. Tommy, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, Seek and Destroy, we did see, I want to say it was Elm City Showdown last September.
Right. Okay.
Was it September, October, whenever it was? It was October. They were back at the JCC. They challenged the Haven in a fatal four-way match for the tag team titles. I believe that was the only. I think that was their debut at PAPW. So this is their Alley Fights debut. They're heavy hitters, So Perfectly Sexy, it's gonna be exciting to see them back. But they got their work cut out for them against heavy hitters. But that's gonna be an exciting one, to see a couple debut. Two guys make their Alley Fights debuts versus two guys making their Alley Fights returns. So looking forward to that match.
We're going to see somebody that we heard from earlier in the episode, Fly Nye Noriega, taking on Stevie Legend.
Fly Nye.
Yeah. Fly Nye is, he hasn't been been out there that long, but he's pretty impressive. Stevie Legend, what's he been out there? Has he been out there under a year? Matt, you would know a little bit more than me.
Stevie has been honing his craft at Kevin Landry's Pro Wrestling Combine. Another great place, along with Paradise Alley and Test of Strength to hone the craft. So I can't 100% confirm this, but I'm fairly certain I announced Stevie's first ever match at the first ever Shut Up and Wrestle in 2019. Gotcha. That might need a little fact checking, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. And Stevie is another guy. It's like he needed a while to find his footing, but he's starting to find his groove these days. He's getting out there. He's going all over the place. He's honing his craft, and this is a battle of two young up and comers, and let's see who wants it more.
I'm glad to see him coming out here to Paradise Alley because he's somebody that I've seen basically, work in other areas, and now that he's finally in the area that I go to on a regular basis. He's a guy that I have seen his matches online, and he's always he's improving as he's getting the more he does it. Like you said, he's finally honing his craft, I guess. See somebody we were talking about earlier, Lucas Chase taking on Matt Awesome.
That's gonna be a banger.
This is gonna be a great match, I think.
That's gonna be fantastic.
I was really impressed with Matt Awesome at the was it Point Blank that he showed up at?
I believe it was the previous Alley fights where he made his debut, his PAPW debut against Battle Academy's Hunter Tarka.
It was the okay, yep.
And it was bittersweet because it was his aunt, I believe, I'm pretty sure it was his aunt was there in the crowd, seeing him wrestle for the very first time live.
Right.
So I remember interviewing him post match, and he said it was very bittersweet. He goes, it was two birds with one stone. Hey yo, see.
Hey yo, G Brony. The GOC is in the house. I mean G Brony.
Yeah, Jay Brony.
Right, completely different person.
Anyways, and I know he said it was two birds with one stone. To make his debut and get the victory, and also do it in front of his family for the first time. And I'm very excited to see him now square up against Lucas Chase, who obviously we've had nothing but great things to say about him and his ring ability earlier.
It's his attitude. He's got a great in-ring ability, but it's his attitude.
Yeah, he's a hothead. We appreciate his talent.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Oh, Kenny Giannotti is in the chat. Hello, my friend. Kenny G, as we'll call him.
Hey!
There we go. There's that good.
It's Matt DaCorte. There he goes.
Yes, I made it home so I can now turn my camera on without fear of getting into a car accident. So
that's a good thing. That's positive.
We need you, Matt.
Better safe than sorry.
Absolutely. Anthony Gamble will be taking on D-Vibe.
Those are two debuts, I believe.
Yeah,
They're
I'm not familiar with either of them. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them just yet, but I look forward to meeting them and working with them. Maddie, if you got,
I'm actually a little jealous with you on that one, Tommy, because even in all my travels, I don't think I've worked with either of them either.
That's something I guess one day I can brag to my grandkids about that. I worked with two guys before Matt DaCorte.
Of course, Marcel Williams of the PWZ podcast will be taking on the Ecuadorian Nightmare Adrian Santos, who that guy's killing it out there these days.
Yeah,
no
Santos
doubt.
Has always been a threat.
Yep.
He's always been a threat, and when he's come to PAPW, he's always been impressive. Always been someone who's not afraid to hurt people.
Yep.
And Williams, but Williams is one of the best that has ever stepped foot in PAPW. We haven't seen Williams get in the ring that much last couple months. I know. So excited to see him back in the ring. Obviously, seeing him and Lucas on the same night. And obviously everyone that's been at the PAPW shows, that there's been something brewing between the Cure and Showtime. So we'll see what that.
I believe it's been brewing since what the summer or maybe last fall.
At least since the Black Friday edition of Alley Fights.
Oh, Black Friday, excuse me.
Those of you that are tuning in, if you were there, Lucas and Showtime met one-on-one for the first time with a 20-minute time limit, and we reached time limit, unfortunately, and the brawl just continued post-match, and the locker room emptied out. They had to separate these two. It was just back and forth. So we've been waiting for these guys to get back face-to-face, and last couple shows, we've seen it. We've seen some in-ring confrontation between the two. So we'll see what this leads to.
Where do you think that's going to go at some point between Marcel and Chase? Just drew a blank there for a
I'll go to you, Maddie. You go ahead first. I've been yapping away, but again, that's why they call me Talking Tommy.
No, it's all good. And then listen, we're talking about Lucas Chase here. The one thing I want to interject is too. It's like we talked about the title matches on the first night. You know who's holding that anytime any gold gauntlet contract, right?
You stole the word, Maddie, from me.
Yep.
Oh.
So that's the thing. That's another thing too. It's like we got the rivalry between Lucas Chase and Showtime possibly coming to a head. I mean, we saw some things going on at Point Blank, and we do have Power Play coming up next month too. So they've got some friends. He's got some friends. Maybe we'll see. But then again, too, the X factor is always that contract. Like, who's to say that he might put Showtime to the side for a hot minute, and maybe there's a beaten up Flash Waller or a Kylon King, and someone might be lurking in the background. Not necessarily there to compete that night, but just to take it in, and maybe.
And what could lead with this potential rivalry between Showtime and The Cure, if Lucas Chase at some point, obviously with his hot streak, if he's successful with his Anytime Any Gold cash-in once that happens over the next year, will this rivalry with Showtime be, it might add some championship ramification to it. So, it might get a little more intense than it already is.
Yeah. Let's see where else we're going. Returning Jay Baker taking on a returning Aladdin. That's another guy we haven't seen in quite some time. I wonder where that one's going to go.
Pyramid of Power.
I don't think I've seen him.
Only one of them.
Yeah,
one of them.
Usually, it's a rarity to see either Aladdin or Aladdin Ding go solo. Usually, when it comes to Pyramids of Power, you more so see Zafar Al-Rahihi go solo out of the trio. But I'm actually excited to see what Aladdin can do on his own. Obviously, assuming who knows if Aladdin Ding's going to be at ringside. But excited to see what Aladdin can do without having to turn to the corner and tag in his brother. So excited to see what he can do as a solo, as a singles competitor.
Isn't he a former Intercontinental Champion? Am I correct on that?
I'm not sure. I believe Zafar.
No, I believe you're right on that.
And I'm going back pre-pandemic.
I think you're right. Now that you mention it.
Yeah. So, this guy's got the experience here in Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. So, to go to the top and championship caliber guy here in Paradise Alley. So, this could be a really interesting match here.
Definitely.
No doubt. And let's not sell Jay Baker short either. He's another guy that putting in the work at the Pro Wrestling Combine up there and
good up and comer,
Holyoke, Massachusetts. Kevin Landry's place, and he's another guy that I've seen him over the years, and he's come a long way. So let's not sleep on Jay Baker. He might come out to the Black Sabbath music. His last name is Baker. But, it's like I said, don't sleep on him because he might smoke you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Baker. I know he made his Alley Fights debut a few months back. I think he came up short. I want to say it was against one of the Battle Academy members.
Yeah.
Was it Hunter Tarka? I believe it was No Mercy.
I believe I got that. Yeah, I have that on video. It's up on my YouTube. I'd have to go back and look, but I do remember the match. Yeah.
And I know he was very impressive, and so I'm excited to see him back in action at Alley Fights.
Of course, a match I'm really looking forward to. It's a no-holds-barred match with Sunset Steve and Greg Baylor. Sunset Steve finally going to get his hands on Greg Baylor and take care of this punk.
Well, let me tell you this. I mean, I saw the footage, I'm sure you both did, of Flying High and one Greg Baylor breaking into Sunset Steve's house.
Incredible.
That is a very ballsy move. And let me tell you what, if you want to do something like that, You don't. I'm not sure Greg Baylor knows what he's getting into, especially with no rules. I gotta say, I'm not sure if Greg Baylor is going to be very gorgeous walking out of that one.
And don't forget, Fly Nye is also going to be in the house. He's got a match earlier that night, so he will be in the building. Will that come into play during that matchup? Will he make an appearance? Will he come out and assist Baylor at any time? Yeah.
No holds bar. There's nothing Sunset can do about it. Who knows if Sunset has some backup? I mean, I will tell you though, I am certain that mark my words, we are going to see a different side of Sunset Steve Garcia come Saturday, May 14th. Because, this is going to be a very violent side of Sunset with this no holds barred match, because, this is months of anger built up from Greg Baylor, from cheap shot after cheap shot, from the brass knucks, getting struck in the skull 12 times by Fly Nye with brass knucks.
Yep.
To getting hit with the crutch while Greg Baylor was out with his injury. Hit with the steel chair, costing him a match against Baylor in their first encounter. And now, not just Baylor and Fly Nye invading his house. This was his home. A house and a home is two different things. This was the home with his wife and his kids. And so this has become personal for Sunset Steve for sure. And I definitely believe now, with Sunset having the right to use all the weapons he can find, whatever's under the ring and whatnot, we are going to certainly see a different side of Sunset Steve. And, with Fly Nye in his corner or not, Greg Baylor needs to protect that moneymaker, if you will, because, like you said, Matt, he might not be so gorgeous after all.
That could be a very interesting match. I think that's one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most of the entire weekend. There's been a lot. There's a lot going into this match. A lot going into this match over the last few months between Baylor and Garcia, and now Fly Nye's in the story. Mickey Biggs is missing in action, so and no fans taking the cheers away. Yeah, that should have been taken care of. I have that. I was watching. I couldn't believe that happened.
Nick Payne is in the house, I see.
Nick Payne is in the house. Hello, sir. How are you?
In effect, Joel. I said the house of Payne is in effect. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. One half of the 3-time longest reigning Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions and the best tag team in the world.
Tell him, man.
That's for you.
I'm just going to throw this one up on the screen because I'm dying over here. Are you guys ready to see Carla bug out at the wrestlers? Yes, Kenny. I'm going to.
100%
yes,
of 100%.
Keep her a little calm. Make sure he doesn't, her head doesn't explode throughout the evening.
Still one of my favorite moments, though. Honestly, I remember when this was pre-pandemic, when we were still at.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
We were still at the Annex Club, and this was the start of the rivalry for the PWZ title between Vlad and Matthias. And I remember Vlad came out, got into a whole brawl with Matthias, and this was before Wardlow had his Powerbomb Symphony. So Vlad was powerbombing Matthias, God, I don't know, 30 times. And I remember the whole locker room was out trying to stop him, but he just kept going and going and going. And Carla got so pissed, took off her shoe and threw it, and it hit Vlad right in the back of the head. One of the greatest fan moments at POPW.
Kenny, tell Carla to keep her shoes on. That's right, my friend. I didn't want to go ahead and say that. But yes, Tommy, you are right, man. That was some great times, man. It's incredible. All right, so what else do we got here between the evening? Anything else you guys want to throw out there regarding this this coming weekend or last weekend?
Go ahead, Matty.
Well, let me tell you what. I mean, it's 2022 is I think going to be a great year for professional wrestling, not just you know in the grand scheme of things, but especially in our area. I mean, we've already saw
Absolutely,
the start
Kevin.
of Coliseum Pro Wrestling, which I think is going to be something special. PAPW has been killing it. You know, we not only have a doubleheader of alley fights. There's going to be power play next month. There's going to be wild wrestling next month, which is going to be something completely different, but quite possibly, arguably the biggest show in PAPW history. And, you know, not to mention that, you know, Test of Strength has been killing it. Blood, Sweat, and Tears is coming back in June. They're bringing in some new faces, some familiar ones as well, and it's going to be a nice styles clash up and down the card for that one. And you know we're going to see the start of another one, Empire Pro Wrestling, in June as well. Very
I'm
much
looking forward to that one. We're going to be talking about that even more, trying to push that as much as possible. They've already got a great lineup of wrestlers, referees, and of course, ring announcer taking part in that show. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tremendous. And, you know, also, too, I would be remiss, shout out to, Vinny V, Tough and Talented Wrestling. You know, they're going to be, they've been going strong up in Torrington. You know, there's something, and what I'm doing right now is I'm just mentioning promotions that are based in and around Connecticut.
Right.
Like, that's the incredible thing to me is that, like, all this cool stuff is just right here in Connecticut. I haven't even mentioned, you know, the stuff that's going on in Massachusetts, you know, with like New Age and, you know, all the stuff that's going on up there, or even stuff like New World Wrestling Extreme.
Which is Jonathan's already just mentioned that. Yep. Yeah.
A part of, you know, there, and then not only that, you know, the Immortal in New York has been killing it. You know, like I just got to work with James Storm. You know,
that's awesome.
The last month, so you know, it's such an incredible time for for professional wrestling. The Northeast Indie circuit, you know, like we're spoiled in my opinion. It's
only getting better.
Exactly, it's only getting better.
Yeah.
It was already had a solid base to it, and I mean, like, you know, you have New England, you have the tri-state area, and some of the best wrestling is taking place in our backyard. It's absolutely tremendous, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
2022, has started off really awesome, and it's just getting better. Starting the summer's coming, and there's so many great shows. You know, this month in May, and then in June, and then going forward, it's just going forward. Like, it's going to be awesome. Like Connecticut seems to be really hot now. We're having a really good streak of all these different promotions coming around. And it's really cool. Not that outside, like Massachusetts and New York has some great promotions as well, but you know, right here, like you said, in our backyard, there's so much going on right now. It's incredible.
No doubt.
Yeah, like Nick Payne just said in the chat, support all indie wrestling. Absolutely.
Tell them. That's right. Support indie wrestling. It's important. It's the backbone of the wrestling industry. So seriously.
Listen,
you're helping out.
Wrestling fans, some of your favorite stars on TV, they came from. They all had to start somewhere.
Yep. All right, gentlemen. Matt, what you got coming up outside of this weekend? Obviously, we know what's going on here this weekend. So what else you got coming up? Anything really cool coming up that you want to throw out there?
Let me see. May 21st, I will be back at New World Wrestling Extreme, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. That's going to be a loaded card. I mean, just check out New World Wrestling Extreme on socials. They got it's a killer lineup for that show on the 21st. Definitely something to keep your eye on. And then I actually, as of right now, I currently have a rare weekend off the following week. But not gonna lie, I might need it to recharge a little bit. Rest the voice just a pinch. And maybe have a little bit of the proper. But then the week after that, it's back full steam ahead. Double header with Blood, Sweat, and Tears on the 3rd. Test of Strength and Invictus Pro Wrestling are actually. Did I say that right? I believe
They're running a joint show, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, it's a joint show. The crossover events. Forbidden Doors are all the rage these days. So again, you're getting that right in your backyard. So that's going to be tremendous. Next month is also going to be huge for PAPW. Power Play, Wild Wrestling, and I'm sure there's going to be an alley fight or two in there somewhere.
Yeah.
The debut of Empire Pro Wrestling right here in Connecticut, which is going to be tremendous. And all throughout the speaking of something fun too, that's going to be coming back right here in Connecticut. Go figure. Cheap Pop. Thank you, McFoley. Cosplay Championship Wrestling is going to be coming back to Connecticut. It's a little different, obviously, but it was one of the most fun things I've ever been a part of. And, seeing, the cosplay, the costumes, the characters, the interactions with the crowd, that was there. It was different, but it was a heck of a lot of fun. So, if you're into, superheroes and you're also a fan of wrestling, and I think there's a lot of more crossover there than people might think. That's something to keep your eye on as well.
All right. And Tommy, what about you? Do you have anything else you want to throw out there and plug?
I mean, it's just it's going to be a great summer, honestly, for pro wrestling. Like I said, in PAPW with Empire. I know Coliseum. For those that have been following on all the socials, there'll be updates very soon on the next show. So obviously, make sure you're all up to date, following all those promotions on their socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Because, you're not going to want to miss this incredible summer of pro wrestling. Super excited. Like I said, I'm very, very pumped for this weekend, for the double shot weekend. Something we've never done before. We've never had double shot alley fights, 2 alley fights in 2 nights back to back. So very excited for that. Very excited for the ring announcing debut on Saturday. I can't wait. Maddie, thanks for being booked elsewhere for me to get my spotlight. It's Talking Tommy's time to shine.
And shine you will, my friend. I have all the confidence in the world that you are going to fill my shoes and then some. So,
well, I know you're gonna kill it. Where you're gonna be on Saturday. So
this is important. Breaking news.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. Coming up on the screen.
Read that off for me, Professor. This is big. This is big.
Hang on. There it is. Kevin Sabin says, I do believe Friday will be the season debut of Mancini's Weenies and Sabin sausages and Big Daddy's Patties. This is huge news. I'm looking forward to it.
Just in case you needed even more incentive to get out and see some great wrestling action, you're also going to have some of the best food in the business.
There you go.
But come on, folks. This is a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
So when you folks show up on Friday night for alley fights, make sure not only do you bring the energy, but you bring your appetite.
And don't forget that, of course, it's $10 per show. However, if you buy tickets for both nights, you get a $5 discount, so it's $15. You can't get a better deal anywhere to go watch professional wrestling anywhere. That's $15 for 2 awesome nights of professional wrestling. So, in case you needed another reason. What about Jay Brony's Ronies? There you go. So, folks, I'd like to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you for everybody that got into the chat, asked some questions, and talked a bunch of stuff. I'd appreciate everybody for tuning in. And thank you very much. And I will see you tomorrow as me and Marcel will be back here for to talk AEW Dynamite and so much more. And then, well, hopefully I'll see you this weekend at Alley Fights. Take care, everybody.